Good evening, my friends, fans, and all you amazing toy lovers. Welcome to another installment of Midweek Musings. It's been quite a while, actually, but nonetheless, we're back and very happy to have my friends on board. Tonight, we are going to unbox new JoyToy figures, but before we do, I want to talk about the extreme popularity of the Warhammer 40k franchise, and I think it can be attributed to several key factors, and we're going to tell you why. Now, first and foremost, it's rich and deep in lore. The universe of 40k is incredibly detailed and immersive, with a vast and intricate backstory that spans millennia. Now, it's dark and set in a dystopian setting, filled with, let's say, complex political and religious factions that sort of offer fans a deep well of stories to explore. It also is diverse as far as factions and characters are concerned. Now, the franchise features a wide array of diverse and compelling factions, each with its kind of unique characteristics, motivations, and histories. From all the noble space marines to the relentless Tyranids, the universe actually offers something for every fan that, very much into science fiction and fantasy. I think, in my personal opinion, this is the epitome of science fiction and fantasy. Now, it also has a lot of engaging gameplay. So Warhammer 40k encompasses various forms of gameplay, including tabletop wargaming, video games, novels, and a lot more. Now, the tabletop wargaming aspect in particular, and later on, Jason will talk about this, allows players to immerse themselves in strategic battles, which I think fosters a strong sense of community and competition as well. My personal favorite about the 40k, I suppose, franchise, and also influenced by Mr. Simon Flack, is the dark and gritty atmosphere. Now, the grim and dark ambience of the Warhammer 40k universe resonates with fans who appreciate its exploration of complex themes such as war, sacrifice, and the struggle for survival. That's the main thing. It's uncompromising portrayal of a universe engulfed in perpetual conflict that kind of captivates and encourages exploration of what we call the overall human condition. Most importantly, it has a strong community and fan engagement. So the franchise has fostered, I think, a very passionate and dedicated community of fans who actively engage in discussions, as what we're doing tonight, events and creative endeavors related to the Warhammer 40k universe. This active fan base, I think, has helped sustain and promote the franchise popularity over the years. So the combination of these elements has allowed Warhammer 40k to carve out a unique and enduring place in what I call the realm of science fiction and fantasy, appealing to fans of many diverse interests and backgrounds. So guess what, guys? I want you to kick back, grab a beverage, and you know what? We will be right back after this. I love that. So thanks so much to Alex Argento and Virgil Donati and Icefish for all our music beds. You hear stream after stream. Really cool. In fact, a lot of the music also is very reminiscent of sci-fi and, sort of dystopian, futuristic kind of stuff. So I thought it's quite fitting. Anyway, look, we're going to start the show. I'm going to bring the boys on and introduce two very special gentlemen tonight, which I think are very fitting, for particularly the 40k franchise. Hailing all the way from the suburb of the NRL Premiership title holders, I think a man that's deeply entrenched in the spoils, corruption, and nepotism of toy collecting, beg your pardon, a man that doesn't mince his words. And he certainly hoards all his empty boxes. I think he's the man, the myth, and someone who occasionally loves to suck down a lung biscuit, we have Mr. Simon Flack. Now, let's get him on.
Clearly, you've outdone yourself. That was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I think so. I think we kind of enthuse people, right? We want to try and get them into the franchise and the lore. I think so. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good that you approve. I'm very honored.
I like it. Yeah,
that's very good. Very good. Okay, cool. All right, now next person coming to you from what was once Dan's wasteland, ruled by technological and cultural stagnation, in my opinion, resulting in regression and tyranny, really, emerged a man with poise and character, a tabletop gaming ambassador, and a purveyor of any toy that brings him joy, Jason the Bruce.
Oh, you're outdoing yourself. Outdoing yourself.
Dude.
Clinton, a man of shame and humiliation. That's what he is. Hello, folks. Nice to be here live.
Yeah, it's good to have you guys on. Mikey, evening all. Cannot wait for the repaints. What's this with repaints?
Repaints?
I don't even think we've got any repaints. No
toys are ever repainted. Tonight. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, it's no repaints. Rob Franklin's always good evening. Very, very nice of you to join us. Thank you so much. And Damien Burton, certainly long time no see, buddy. I hope everything is well in Melbourne. That's how the Americans say it. Is it Melbourne? Melbourne. I'm not American, Melbourne. Cool. So yeah, we're here tonight. Before we commence, gents, I want to say that we are going to unbox some new goodies. And also, before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors. We'll be right back after these messages, okay?
This episode of Toy Reel is proudly brought to you by Cool Toys Club and JoyToy World.
They're good people, aren't they? Good people. Okay, so tonight we're going to look at a couple of things, but primarily the fifth Capic Eagles sets. We have 2 sets. We have the command set as well as the standard sets, and then we're going to look at the Red Corsair as well. So it's a 40k kind of night. But before we do, I really love this sculpt. I love this paint job. I love this this regiment. They're sort of a distinguished Astra Militarum sort of regiment within the Warhammer 40k universe, renowned, I think, for their exceptional discipline and strategic prowess, if I could so put it that way. They're also known to specialize in lightning-fast armored assaults and rapid deployment of their tactics, often making use of a very highly mobile force to outmaneuver their foes and their enemies on the battlefield. So their combat doctrine emphasizes precision strikes and coordinated maneuvers, if you really wanted to get in-depth, primarily backed by also very formidable armored support and air superiority as well. So without any further ado, we're gonna go over to Simon, and we're gonna see what he's got on offer as far as one of these guys are concerned. So Simon, just to tell the viewers, you got the command set, right?
I have the command set. Yeah. They were offered in 2 5-man bundles. So
yes. Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's show us your wares, buddy.
All right. Well, I guess we'll start off with basically the commander of the Tempestus Scions. Let's see if we can get a good look at that.
Nice.
So I've already taken the liberty of popping this guy out. So that's what you get in the pack. So you got quite a few accessories, hands and stuff. I'm sorry for the shoddy camera work.
That's all right.
Let's pop that open.
Pop those guys open. In the meantime, yeah, let's do that.
What I do like is that he comes with a stand.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these smaller figures are a little bit top heavy. They come with so much stuff on them.
I got to say though, they do stand quite well. Some figures do stand quite well for what they are. Oh, look at that! Amazing.
So he's got a little floaty skull guy on the back. He's got a massive coat. Pops on and off easy enough.
God,
I'm terrible at this. Sorry.
That's okay. That's very nice, actually. Look, what do you think? What do you think so far compared? I mean, look, they're not really things.
Who's worried? Look, this guy isn't worried.
Yeah, they're nice. They're nice new sculpts. They're nice.
So
new
much
sculpts.
detail on them, like just first impressions.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's covered in it. It's a really nice sculpt. Excellent paintwork, like especially on the beret around the head. No slop at all.
Yeah. Do you think they're worth? Do you think they're worth the coin? Like for what they are?
Absolutely. Like even with the giant armor on him, he's still surprisingly well articulated. Like you could get this guy into some really decent poses. You've also got another 2 sets of hands here.
Yep.
You've got a fairly big backpack for him.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously a little bolt pistol. So all in all, not a bad guy. I don't think you can get the backpack on with the big coat though, if that's an issue for you.
Yeah. I know that when initially you were doing your purchases, you were more interested in the command set than just the standard scions. Was that a preference or?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because with the armies of the Astra Militarum, like there's a sort of set uniform. Like different worlds have different looks about them, whether that be from just tradition or they can't get some of the suppliers, or could be anything. But I figured they were going to keep releasing different units from different worlds. So if you're going to try and collect an army, it's just be madness.
Yeah.
So I thought if you just get the command squads, they make for a nice little display, because also you'll see the next figure I pull out. You've got the commander, you've got the standard bearer with the flag, and then you've got a couple of specialist guys. So
okay.
If you've got
the
them for worlds, it's a different look.
The standard bearers are always quite nice, particularly with when I had those battle sisters as well. I mean, some of the stands they had on that were amazing.
Oh, remember the last one, the last show we done that was on 40k, or we looked at JoyToy. I had the giant golden custodes guy.
Yes.
He was another standard bearer. So
yeah.
This is the standard you get with this one. So,
oh, look at that.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
I mean,
that detail's like all in the mold, as you can see. It really pops out.
Yeah. I got to say, the rate at which JoyToy have now released these toys. It was only not long ago we had the initial Ultramarine sets.
Oh, it's only been 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
I know.
It hasn't been long, and it's insane the amount of stuff that's out there. And
the
range really hasn't hurt because of it either.
If you told me we'd be getting stuff like those Primarchs, like the Ultramarines Primarch, Rabute Gilliman, and now they're doing the Dark Angels, Lionel Johnson, like I would never have believed that. Like if only a couple of years ago, that was like a fever dream to me. No one would be mad enough to do it. But man, JoyToy is out there just knocking them out of the park. These figures are so good.
Yeah.
Like, and they've got such a distinct look too,
While we wait for you to unbox the next one, Jason, in the line that's being released now, obviously you see everything online. What are some of the other factions or figures that are catching your eye if, let's say, you had the liberty of being able to get a particular set? Which ones were you eyeing off?
Of the stuff that's coming that we know of, and the stuff, the Cadians are definitely tempting. They're not my favourite faction as far as the Astra Militarum is concerned. That would be the Catachans, which we don't have coming yet. If you don't know what the Catachans are, think Rambo, but it's an entire army of Rambo. For me, there's something that came out, I want to say a couple of weeks ago. It's been on pre-order for a while, which is Mephiston from the Blood Angels. He is to this day, one of my favourite characters in the entire game. He's the only Blood Angel that ever actually survived the Black Rage and came out the other side of it. And of course,
nice.
being 40k, there's questions as to whether he did it legitimately or whether he's turned to chaos and nobody really trusts him. And it's just such a fun lore. But at this particular point in time, I don't think anybody stands above the Primarch of the Dark Angels, because it literally looks a spitting image of the brand new figure, and the brand new miniature. To the point where when we were looking at the reveal, we couldn't understand how it looked so accurate so quickly.
Yeah. Nice.
They just knocked it out
Hey,
of the
Katie.
park.
Hey, how you going? So yeah, I'm going to come back to you actually in a minute, because you are, 40k is certainly no stranger to you because you do a lot of tabletop stuff. But let's have a look at and see what Simon's got now. Simon.
So cool. This is the standard bearer guy. Let's try and get that actually in the shop.
That looks amazing.
What I do like about him, oh god, this is terrible. You can see that he comes with a stand. Just because these flags, obviously being, a molded piece of plastic, are quite heavy. So if you've got it like that, it's, the stand is a really good idea.
Yeah.
Well,
you're going to need...
I'm not doing this guy justice at all. This is terrible.
Yeah. We got Con. Con, how are you going, buddy?
Hey, Con. You know what I really like about that stand? I mean, yes, if you've got a flag that size, like, physics is not going to let it stand up otherwise. But it's legitimately, like, it is a 40k base. It's not just a base of acrylic. It is the right shape too.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of share in it now, like the digital sculpts themselves going across from Games Workshop. Like you said, with the lion, how accurate is that, and how quick that turnaround is? They've got to be sharing them at this stage.
If they haven't started working on that before the miniature was public, then I don't understand how they got it to look that good that quickly.
Yeah,
it's insane.
So Games Workshop obviously have a lot of faith in them, and with what they've been putting out, the line must be popular. Like, there's so many Facebook groups out there dedicated to it now. It's amazing. Some people's collections.
Totally, man. I think it's crazy at how quick and fast, like I said, it's coming. And imagine as well, JoyToy and the tooling that it takes. I mean, I know some of the guys in the group and teasing us about repaints and ultramarine repaints, but dude, they're new sculpts, So
and look, the Space Marines are always going to be the bread and butter. They were
correct.
Like there's so much, and it's not always straight up repaints, because you've got so many chapters. It's not like a stormtrooper with a different stripe color on his shoulder pauldron or something. It's much more than that.
Con goes, I've got my McFarlane toy ones and they are nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
What happened to McFarlane?
Yeah, I know.
But in that area.
Well, we had such high hopes. And for 6-inch, I do have some custom heads here on some of the McFarlane ones, and they're brilliant. The Bandai ones were a bit exorbitant and overpriced. I bought some from you. But then I think Simon, you and I, and maybe even Jason, when JoyToy came out with these, we were like, yep, get rid of the rest of them. That's it. And
you had the army building sickness, so you understood what it was like to try and, like, I know you had at least 10 of the Space Marines, and they were just massive.
Yeah.
You couldn't really, and they were so much bigger than a normal figure just because of what they are, Space Marines, like in your normal 6-inch. And like, just I don't have the shelf space. I don't have the space full stop to army build to the level I wanted to, which is something you can do with JoyToy.
Yeah.
If space wasn't an issue, I would never have money.
We are all definitely getting and running out of room. So Mikey goes, I kid, these guys look amazing, especially love the detail on their faces, and the flags are awesome. I got to say, for 4-inch, 3/3/4-inch, 4-inch figure, it's borderlining on 5-inch, depending on the scale or the different, whether the Ultramarines. The detail is amazing, and I think that's what you're paying for. You're paying for the paint app and the detail in these figures. Maybe yes, we are sponsored, but then some of them. I'm also want to be very transparent when it comes to accurate reporting.
We were both on this line way before that ever happened.
Yes, correct. We were on this line way before that happened, but
they're day one.
You're absolutely right. I mean, we used to buy stuff from Sugo as well. So, but the initial, there were some contentious issues with with the Bucks, and they had version 2s and things like that. If I break
a new line.
Yes, correct. It's all teething, right? Teething periods, right?
And hey, look, they listen to feedback. That was a big change to make early on in the line like that. So, you got to give them credit for that. I'm not trying to run with it,
Very, very lateral thinking as far as JoyToy is concerned. So, Con goes, they should have done the Tau Army figures.
What, the McFarlane?
Well, I've got good news for you on that front. If you go for the JoyToy ones, they do have Tau figures.
Yeah, they do, and you get all the big robots too.
Yeah.
See, hey Con, that's what you need to do. Yeah, go on.
You were talking at the start about like how big the Warhammer 40k universe is and so on and so forth. I think the best example of Warhammer and how big a franchise it is that we have legitimately had 2 different companies producing figures for this line at the same time. And both of them have been fairly successful.
Yes.
Like JoyToy picked up. I mean, McFarlane were releasing first, but I don't know who did the figures first. I mean, I don't know who did the license first. Bandai obviously had it first.
Yep.
One of them was looking at the budget lines, and JoyToy were looking at the premium lines. Like they both approached the franchise from completely different angles, and they've both done really well for what they are. I mean, the McFarlane ones don't have the articulation that these do. These have nicer detail, in my opinion, but that doesn't make the McFarlane ones bad by any means.
Not at all. I think
these are just much more premium.
Absolutely. And you got to remember, it's half the cost, right? So if it ironically for the double the size, it's 6-inch, 7-inch, they cost less than, let's say, the premium, finishing of, let's say, the JoyToy. Hey, I got a question for actually the both of you guys, right? Now, you had the 6-inch line McFarlane stuff. Now, looking at the quality and the cost of these JoyToy ones at this scale, and both you guys being massive tabletop guys, right, with 40K, do you think those guys would sort of incline more to collecting these because they like the franchise anyway, or do you think this line is targeted solely for the toy collector?
No, I don't think so. I think obviously the name recognition value was basically with the tabletop guys. They had a massive video game franchise, Dawn of War and Space Marine, and so you couldn't throw a stone out there without hitting a cheap 40K mobile game at any stage. So I think, and you see enough memes and that, so I think there was some public consciousness of it, but
yeah.
No, I think toy collectors and 40K collectors alike.
Con goes, they're good, but I like the bigger ones. You certainly, of course, you're allowed to like what you enjoy. So for sure. In fact, you can buy. Hey, Simon's got plenty of the larger ones you can sell.
Yeah, plenty. I'll do a bargain discount for you on a big lot.
I can do bargain discount here too.
I have one of the Artist Space Marines. I was originally going to paint it up to be a Blood Angel, but you can have it.
Yeah.
I'll sell it to you.
That done well for McFarlane. Like the amount of those I saw on painting forums. But then again, was it? I haven't heard anything from them for a while.
Yeah, I neither have I. And in fact, they did make some new Warhammer ones from the jog my memory. What is that one? What's that game that for Warhammer game that they made? McFarlane released it recently. They've announced it.
Was it Space Marine 2?
No, something else.
Space Marine 2 is coming, but unless you're talking about Dawn of War, but that's a long time ago.
I thought it was a new line they released. Anyway, that just shows how much attention I've been paying to McFarlane. And look, I'm not knocking them, but I think, like I said, as far as the 40k stuff is concerned, JoyToy are the way to go, by the way. And saying that, make sure that you use your discount code TOYREAL if you do want to buy and pick up any of these JoyToy figures. I highly recommend them. Just one quick word from our sponsors, and I'll be right back.
This episode of Toy Reel is proudly brought to you by Cool Toys Club and JoyToy World.
Okay, Simon, what's the next one that you unboxed? You want to show us?
I just had the standard bearer guy. So that was just basically the captain and the standard bearers.
Captain,
really nice.
Let's have a look at that again. This show us.
Like I said, if you've got like a little command unit, like from the Cadian squad or the Krieg guys, I just think they look good with all the different standards and like not having to have a whole army.
I think it's the nicest taste of the Force you can get too. Like if you're going to have a squad of something, the command squad stands out with more character rather than 5 things that kind of all look the same.
5 blokes in khaki with las guns tends to, look a bit drab. But, these guys are going to have a splash of color. At least the boss guy is going to have some giant Gestapo coat and a big hat.
Colors are always nice. I like the colors. You can't go wrong with colors.
For those that don't want to do the whole army collecting thing, and Lord knows there's going to be a lot of them, the good thing about having the full line is there's a lot of options. You can buy the one that stands out to you the most, whether it be the flag guy or just the guy with his las gun. There's tons of options in all of everything that's been released so far, and there's a lot that hasn't been done yet. Yep,
totally. Okay. Cool. All right. Let's check what you've got and what you got from Cool Toy. Actually, is it JoyToy World Cool Toys Club? Yeah, that's the guys.
JoyToy World, I believe.
Actually, JoyToy. No, actually, it's from Cool Toys Club. So for 40k stuff, you go to Cool Toys Club. Yeah. So let's have a look at what you've got. What you got from them.
Yep.
I'm going to add this there, and then we've got the camera. There we go.
So this is a Blood Angel I pulled out. I actually bought this some time ago, just as a point of, just a reference to, so we can compare sizes. I have the Red Corsairs Exalted Champion, Gultor the Blade. So the Red Corsairs are a Chaos Space Marine. And these guys actually come from the second founding. These are actually not from the Horus Heresy. There's a big question mark as to whose gene seed they're actually from. Rumor has it that there might be Ultramarines, but of course we don't know that because their history was erased because of their shame. Lots of lovely options here. I have opened him already. I haven't taken him out of the packaging yet. I have been holding on to this and not touching it because I've been a good boy.
Very good. Very good.
So size-wise, very, very similar. The Primaris Marine is slightly bigger, which, to be fair, you would expect because that's a Primaris Marine.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely, lovely detail here. I mean, the face is just focus. There we go.
Nice. Look at that.
Nice and vicious. I mean, you could stab somebody with that. Like, you could do some damage. Lovely iconography. These are obviously being done with stencils.
I wonder whether they are stencils or what they do. Like,
well, they could be water transfers, maybe.
Do you think? Does it look like a water transfer, or does it look like a decal?
No, I think it's
it could be either. I'd be surprised if it's. Well, actually, it could be a stamp. I hadn't thought about that. I don't think it's a water decal though, because there's no real. Although you could hide that with varnish, but I think you would just be adding a step for no reason there, pretty much. Backpack. It looks very, very different.
Crazy.
For what I would like to think are fairly obvious reasons. Lovely, evil-looking skulls. If you're not a fan of skulls, then don't worry. You're going to see a lot of them in Warhammer. It's all about the skulls. Yeah, this guy's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I do have some extra hands. I've actually got 3 hands, as opposed to your 2, Simon. And I have 2 weapons. I have a giant axe to slice off the loyalists' heads because they worship the false emperor and they should all die.
Love it.
And we got a bolt pistol to destroy our enemies with because it's what they deserve.
Okay. The bolt versus the plasmas.
Yep. No, these are gorgeous. I'll have a little play around with the articulation while you are talking about yours and see what we can come up with pose-wise.
Yeah, I got to say these feel more and more robust every time I've been mucking around with them because I was just I was looking at my shelf and you know I think for what they are they're actually quite well made because I generally find that they have a propensity to kind of fall over. But so far, all my orcs are standing, all my Kriegs are standing, my battle sisters are standing. What else? Yeah, they're all standing, and we don't have any issues. Yours falling off the shelf, Simon?
No, they all seem to stay where I put them. Especially
That's
Space Marines, they've got pretty wide feet. It's more the humans that worry me because, like I said, I mean that guy's pretty back heavy with his coat on and his big skull on there, and regular human-sized feet. It doesn't take much of a knock or a bump or something, and then you get the domino effect that sends everything flying. But he did come with a stand too, which I appreciate.
Yeah. So I'm also currently unboxing some figures. We're going to look, like I said, at the Scions. But feel free to chime in and comment if anyone's watching. Oh, I've already dropped the stand. I love the artwork, the photographs. In fact, JoyToy have also done a very good job with all the photographs that they've taken online. Let's have a look here. Going to move this on the layout. I also have a different camera angle to show you what the figures are going to look like in
excellent.
In sort of comparative heights. So as you can see here, I have a Reaver, Ultramarine Reaver, which I really like them actually. I like the type that they are. Then the Krieg and obviously a standard battle sister as well. As I remove this from the box, I'm going to show you what the volley gunner is actually. We're going to look at what have we got. What if I'm let's see. I've got the Tempestus Scions Hotshot Volley Gunner. Let's pull him out. Oof. Very nice, very nice. He's the backpack. He's got the... Let me just try and put that together. And I will take that in the layout and move back to here. Okay. How are you going over there, Jason?
Getting along. I playing with one of the hands. If you can bring my other camera back up.
I will. I'll bring the other camera back up. There we go.
So I've got one of the hands here, right? And it has the usual push fit like you would expect. But what I have just realized is that this is actually a completely separate piece. This, in theory, is actually supposed to come out because the extra hands that you get don't have a knob on them. So if you are wanting to swap these around, you probably need a pair of tweezers, is what I would suggest.
Yeah.
But
that's a bit frustrating. That's a bit frustrating.
That's fun. It's just a matter of learning how they work. So I haven't actually played around with the hands on this guy because he already had the hands that I wanted.
Yeah. Do you guys ever feel like you're a bit worried about breaking these things? So far, I haven't broken anything, touch wood.
I always have that fear.
Yeah.
I don't know. I found them to be pretty robust. I've got like 50, 60 plus here. I haven't had any problems with them.
Oh, my fear is just because I'm a little bit paranoid about breaking things.
Well, I find them actually quite playable. It's very, like, I've always got a couple of these guys just around on the desk, while I'm waiting for someone to pick them up and fiddle with them.
Yeah. I am trying to get trying to get him to put the gun on. In the meantime, let's see if I can get that on. But we actually do have a comment. Con goes, the thing with Warhammer 40k is the same problem with the same Gundam designs. I feel like, unfortunately, they start to look the same one after the other and start being cookie cutty. Do you agree with that? Cookie cutty?
Well, part of the issue with power armor is that it's always going to make everything look the same, right?
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, changing colors, yes, will change a little bit, but I mean, you can't tell me that they look alike. I mean, you can see the resemblances in them.
Yeah.
But I can see what he's saying, but I would probably argue that to some extent that's the same with any... I mean, to some extent, all Transformers look the same too. They're all robots, right?
Stormtroopers,
probably an extreme
different
of an
variations of stormtroopers. It's all just some guy in a white suit, isn't it?
Yeah, stormtroopers are all the same, aren't they?
Yeah, I just...
Oops. I feel like
you can say the same about every franchise, you know.
I feel like these things also are a bit fiddly because there's some parts are good and some parts tend to be quite loose.
I've sometimes some of the older figures, especially the Chaos guys who all came with giant axes and stuff. I found sometimes to get the into the hands, the grips and stuff, it took a lot of work. Some of those hands, the older hands, were really freaking hard.
This one is
some of them I thought they might break, trying to get the fingers out to get something in the palm.
Yeah, this one's taking quite an effort to put on, and maybe I've just got the wrong hands on. But
all the weapons are so chunky too. Like most of the handles on them are really quite big. Like you remember the Clinton, the Black Templars, because all of the weapons had this little bit that slid on over the bottom, and it had the big chains, so you could attach it to their wrists. And trying to get that thing in, like this, slipping this little box over the handle, and then trying to get that handle into a hand was tough. It was tough.
We do have a comment. Katie goes that there's uniformity, but each faction has a distinct difference, of course, particularly with the colors. Where are you up to, Jason, with your little guy? Yep.
So I've got a little diorama going. These guys are in the middle of fighting each other. I'm not Clinton levels of posing, so I try is what I do.
I wouldn't even say that I have any level in posing. In fact, my posing is pretty...
It might help if this guy looks at the other guy. There we go. So I got there somewhere.
Yeah, no, that's good. So give us your thoughts on the figure. I know we went through some of the... what is it, like a $50, $60 figure?
Something like that. I would say, like, because this backpack is quite large, it has quite a bit of weight in it. So you do have to be careful with how you pose it, because otherwise it does... Like, it tried to fall backwards on me a couple of times. The feet have some nice articulation, maybe slightly loose in the rotation here, but this is stiff, which is the important part, because that's what's going to keep it upright. Everything else kind of feels nice. And ooh, I just found another weapon.
There you go. Another weapon.
I don't even know where that came from.
Yeah, Con goes fair point.
That came from a Space Marine.
Fair point, everyone. Yep. So there's the same-ish of lots of things. I've got this volley gunner to be at the best possible stance at the moment. I haven't got him to double wield the gun itself. There is a little thing that... See, the thing about these guys, right, is that they have this tendency to just have all these little bits fall off, okay? What I am going to do is I'm going to quickly just tell you a bit about this guy. So before I do that, I'm going to change the camera angle. I'm going to put him alongside these guys over here so that you can get an idea of scale and height. I'm going to swap over to this, as you can see there. Okay. So you can see over here, that is the volley gunner. And what we call the hotshot volley gunner, he's a soldier that is sort of trained to deliver devastating firepower, according to the 40k law, against both infantry and light vehicles. So I assume this big guy over here. The volley gun is known for its rapid firing capabilities and ability to armor pierce, which is pretty cool, making these guys, the 55th Kappa Eagles, or the volley gunners anyway, a fairly formidable force on the battlefield. So they are very capable of delivering precise and what we call concentrated volleys of high energy shots to eliminate higher priority targets, and then obviously securing all their strategic objectives. So that is the hotshot volley gunner. So there you go. Okay, that's you can see there. That's him. Maybe a bit bigger in terms of bulk compared to the Krieg, and then slightly obviously bigger than Battle Sister, and then obviously you have the Reaver Ultramarine back here as well. So yeah, nice little figure, isn't it? Oh, I really like the look. I like the colors.
Yeah, no, the colors come out really nicely, and they're very, very faithful to the colors that they have in the Citadel line as well.
I know, Katie, that all the Sisters of Battles, particularly the Battle Sisters in that color, in those colors, are very, very, very nice.
I agree.
Yeah. So, of course, I got that. Now I can also tell you a bit about the. I mean, okay, so you got the command guys, then you have the. Oh, would you say? Well, yeah, they're all the same. I mean, essentially, they are the Tempesta Scions, right? So they are the Scions that are in the command and both standard infantry. Would you say, Simon, they're an elite branch of the Astro?
They're like the special forces. They're basically your tier 1 operatives, or whatever the equivalent is. Yeah, they're the best trained, best equipped of the whole Astra Militarum.
I feel like they serve as shock troops, special forces, shock troops, tasks,
they do all that sort of stuff, elite stuff. They're not going to, well, unless it's a desperate time, they're not going to be just thrown into battle, and have their lives wasted. These guys capture objectives and do some sneaky shit.
Sneaky shit. I like that. Yeah. So, I mean, according to 40k, law, they like you said, they serve as shock troops, special forces. They sort of carry out lightning raids. All these sort of somewhat. I mean, I have a military background, so I kind of get some of the things that they're trying to portray in terms of lightning raids, precise strikes, all these covert operations against all these kind of high value targets. It's really nice that they apply some of those things. Would it be safe to say that their training is more emphasized on the versatility and adaptability? Let's say them compared to, for example, another factions. I mean, the Cadians are like fodder, right? So they're just standard humans.
No, I wouldn't say fodder, no. But these guys, like a lot of them, a bulk of them are like brought up in orphanages, like special ecclesiastical orphanages, like the Scholar Progenium. The Scions especially.
Yeah. Okay.
Some of these are trained from children, in like I said, in kind of orphanages, and then they get shipped out into the Tempestus.
It's like I think one of the important things to remember in Warhammer is life is very worthless. Like you have people, you do have people that are just thrown to be killed. That is definitely something that happens, but those sort of people generally only have basic rifles and a bit of a sharp blade on the end of it. You don't because the Warhammer, the Imperium don't really know how to create technology at this stage. Everything they've got is recycled. So someone with premium weaponry like that isn't going to be thrown into something that's going to be wasted because they can't afford to lose it, let alone retrain somebody all over again.
Yep. Very good point. Yeah. So anyway, with these guys, they kind of have their special signature hot shot laser guns and their sort of distinctive Kara space armor. These Tempestus Scions are known for their, I would say, unwavering loyalty, discipline, and also their willingness to undertake, you said, most dangerous missions in the service of the Imperium of Man. So, man, I like these guys. They look sensational. Very nice. I am struggling trying to get him to hold a volley gun, but I'm sure at some point, if I change the hands around, I can get him to hold it and double wield it. So, anyway. Okay. I am going to put him down, and then I'm going to get someone, maybe Simon. Well, let's open another one. Let's open. Simon's gone. Where's he gone?
Simon had to step away for a second. He put a thing in the private chat.
Right. Okay. Yeah, he did. Okay. So I'm going to possibly open another one. I'm going to look at maybe, shall we look at the, what do you reckon? Shall we look at the plasma gunner?
Plasma's fun. Just don't roll a 1.
Hey?
Just don't roll a 1 because your guy will explode if you do.
Sorry about that, gentlemen.
That's all right. That's all right.
Real life happens.
Okay. Simon, why don't you go ahead and open another one? Let's open
You want
another
me to get
one.
another one? All right.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Let's do
Your
another
pick,
one.
though. I've got Grenadier. I have the Medic.
Let's go.
And
the
the Vox Operator. So,
Let's go the
radio
medic.
man.
We always need a good medic.
What's nice to
I
get
like
a
the
medic?
idea of the medic.
The unsung hero.
Well, I mean, Jason does work in the medical field, so.
I mean, considering the nature of most of the weapons in 40k is pretty much like amputating an arm before some dissolving acid makes its way up into your torso, or burrowing grubs from Tyranid weapons eat their way to your brain.
Yep. Or just stabbing somebody to take their gene seed out in the case of Space Marines.
It's a tough life in the Imperial Guard, man. Tough life.
In the 40k universe, there is only war.
Hey, I mean, let's talk something
again,
before on. That looks
there you
great.
go. So you see 2 sets of hands. We've got a medic kit, backpack, las rifle. I'll just pop him open. He's pretty much the same guy as we've seen so far. Same armor, same body, I imagine.
Same sculpt.
They've all got different heads so far, which is a nice touch.
That was going to be my question, yeah.
I mean, they are like little embellishments, so it would be a different tool, man. Like, it will definitely be
like I said, I mean, really, you're talking about a highly regimented fighting force. They're going to have their uniform. Well, it's only the embellishments that makes the ranks stand out. Remember, this guy's head could get blown off any second. They want to get the next guy in. You can't have too much.
Yeah, and they're no different from stormtroopers, right? So, like I said again, we can milk that one.
On that subject, while you're opening it up, like the whole question earlier about things looking different. Oh, so things looking the same. One of the important things with tabletop games, especially in Warhammer 40k, the universe is deliberately large enough where you can kind of do anything you want with it. They kind of deliberately designed all of the armies so that you could create your own version of that. So, for example, I used to have Blood Angels, right? But I customized mine to be a specific chapter of the Blood Angels that I had invented, which is usually what most people end up doing. They make their own version of the main, of the faction that they choose. With little embellishments. Maybe there's a particular miniature that did really well in your last game, so you do something special to remember that. Like, there's this thing that happens in games sometimes where the most useless thing on the field is the only thing that survives somehow, and so you upgrade this character to make him look more cool in the next battle or something. The benefit of them being, in this case, faceless, is that they can be whatever you want them to be. So to some extent, what Con was talking about earlier is by design.
Yeah, totally. That's a very, very good point. That's a very good point.
There's your medic. So You can see he's actually got a big chainsaw on the end of his gun to aid in those battlefield amputations. You also like basically you get a medic pack with this guy. I don't know. He's the only one I've got so far with the water bottle. So they have a few different attachments. You know,
Is
you'll
it a
find
torch on his shoulder?
I guess
yeah,
so.
it's like probably like a.
Yeah, I would say it's a torch. Yeah, or a
He's got
lighter.
exactly the same backpack as all of these ones so far. So
Yeah.
I don't see any differences between them. No embellishments. They're all. Oh no, I tell a lie. One's got a skull painted a different color on it. Oh, there you go.
It's completely different. You told us a lie. What did I
But
say
again,
earlier about
sometimes
skulls?
the uniformity is what compels you to army build. There's something
Yes.
about having those mass ranks. I mean, Clinton knows what I'm like with this sort of stuff.
Well, it's no different. There's no different from having Cobra Troopers, man.
Well, you're not a man until you reach your first 100.
Yeah. Cobra Troopers.
I have like 6 or 7 Cobras, and none of them are the same.
That was the problem. There were so many different army types, Cobra troop types, and like that was my jam, having a big Cobra army.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and when they released, I replaced everything, all my original O-rings, with everything from the 25th anniversary line in 2007 onwards, and I kept up with, you know, the Rise of Cobra, Pursuit of Cobra, even going to the Joe convention to get the club figures, because they done some army builders. Like when you start having the army build exclusive, like overseas collectors club figures, it just gets ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's great detail there. Yeah, Jason, fantastic. Look at that, fantastic.
I just like the corruption of the eye, the chaos star with the eye in it.
That's
It's
very
just
cool.
painted
Very cool.
gorgeously.
Yeah. Some of the detail on this is incredible. I'm just looking at it now. I'm going again. Like I'm unboxing the second figure, which is the plasma gunner. I'm gonna try and see if I can put that up close to the screen here. There we go. Can you guys see that?
Oh yeah,
I do like that helmet too. That's got
that
a good
helmet
look
is
about
cool.
it.
It's very, very, very nice.
Is it the same as the other gunners? Is it exactly the same head sculpt? Like, does it have that piece on the side?
Yes,
I think the mouth guard's slightly different, isn't it?
No, the mouth guards are the same.
Okay.
But except helmets. So some have a vertical grill and some have a circular grill. And then on the volley gunner, you actually have a side laser sight. Then on the plasma gunner, they're slightly different. So let me see if I can. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. It's not exactly the same chest plate either, which is nice.
It's so.
I didn't even notice that. That's well spotted.
It's always about slight little changes in, like, that's why. So if anyone, again, like, I know it's all just tongue in cheek and fun, but they certainly do go into a great amount of detail, and I think it's very, very well done. Very well done. Look at that. That's not the same, right? No two figures.
My standard bearer and the medic both use those two chest plates. So,
they use the same ones.
Yeah. So there seems to be two types so far, plus the actual commander's got a unique one, I'd suggest.
Con goes, thank you, Jason, for the explanation. Yes, you're most welcome.
You're welcome, mate.
Off topic, love the Ghostbusters Lord Vigo poster in your background, mate.
You are about the buzzing of flies to him.
So good, so good. So let me just show you guys the.
I love the fact that he recognized that it was Vigo from looking at the crotch, because it's the only part that you can see in my camera view.
He's very observant. He's very observant. Okay, so that is the volley. Actually, no, that's the plasma gunner. You can see that. I like it. Plasma gunner is part of the elite infantry unit belonging again to the Tempestus Scions. Plasma gun. Specialized soldiers sort of train to unleash all these bursts of superheated plasma upon your enemy forces. Look at that. Yeah, badass. Plasma gun is kind of known for its ability to pierce through heavy armor. And I mean, what nowadays don't really pierce through heavy armor? You got to have fucking firepower anyway. Apparently, this creates more significant damage than just your volley gun. So
those weapons are worth more than that guy's life. So
correct.
they don't give. You only get one per unit. The Scions are lucky to actually get one of those at all. Like, you know, a lot of units, like 100 men wouldn't be worth one of those. But that's why they raise these regiments in the millions, and sometimes they just send them into meat grinders and win through attrition.
Yeah. So saying that though, I'm actually looking forward to the Cadians. They have actually announced that, and that will be.
We've seen the pictures; they look magnificent. Everything I wanted them to be, because like they're the poster boys of the Imperial Guard or the easily trademarkable Astra Militarum,
and the human, like the humans, you know, like as in.
It's nice to have some humans, actual run-of-the-mill humans, just as a scale reference for everything else. Because I think some people may look at the Space Marines and think that they might be slightly bigger than you know what I mean? Like, until you compare them against a human figure, you don't realize that they're actually in scale to the 375 4-inch scale.
So the Space Marines should be about 8 feet tall. Not specifically that Reaver. That Reaver would be slightly shorter because he's in a downgraded version of the armor. But they are 8 foot tall monsters, basically.
Yeah. The Reaver is, I think, in terms of scale, I don't know, maybe Simon, you might agree or not agree, but I feel like the initial Ultramarines, the releases were a bit stunted. I felt that their proportions were slightly out.
Well,
they
were better to me than the Bandai ones. I think those were,
okay. Yeah, if you think so, yeah.
I just for my taste, I think the Bandai one was the most stylized.
Yeah.
These are, as we were saying before, JoyToy are pretty much straight up 1-to-1 copies of actual Games Workshop models. Like, everything they've done has a model as a reference. Like, even down to somewhat with the orcs, some of the poses that seem to sit more naturally on them are the ones that the models are in. If you look at those Orc Commando set, like, you try and recreate those poses with the figures, and they hold it and slip into it very easy. And they've all got an analog in the line. So we haven't seen anything original yet from JoyToy, but maybe it's only a matter of time. I don't know if they'll ever branch into stuff that Games Workshop haven't produced. I'm hoping to see the Elder soon. That's my next big.
Oh yeah,
the Eldar is one of the things that I want. Yeah,
I want those Aspect Warriors, and I want the Phoenix Lords.
I want Kanachan.
Hey, you were holding up those. I want to show people the detail on these weapons again. So I'm gonna get you to hold the bolt pistols.
So
look at that.
This is the one that comes with my Space Marine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was an interesting point of comparison.
Mm-hmm.
And now compare that with the one that comes with the Chaos Lord. For starters, you can already see that it's been, like, it's got the Chaos symbol or the very edge of one there. And clearly the mag has gone missing at some point. Because these are both the same weapons. But this is very much ragtag, thrown together with whatever they have left type scenario. Like, I know that the comment was made in jest, but I mean, these were originally essentially the same thing, but they look completely different.
Yeah. They're so cool.
It's nice touch. It's little touches like that tell me, like, there's a lot of love for the line down there.
There's a lot of passion that goes into
it. They get it. I mean, look, that Dread Knight, the Grey Knight's Dread Knight, which is, I don't know how big it's going to be, but I got to get one.
Oh, you
Like
have to
I
get one.
thought the dreadnoughts were big enough because I've got a couple of those I'm lucky enough to own. And like when I first got those out of the box, like, and for the price of them, which was really reasonable for just the amount of plastic alone, let alone what
Well,
it could do.
look at that! Look at that sword. Whew.
If you look, you can actually see where they've painted the power.
Yeah.
Like, these things are normally airbrushed, and it's really subtle in the best way. There's also, you'll notice, a bit of a gradient there as well.
Yeah, even the blade itself has a really lovely sheen to it, like the way they comes down.
That's kind of
I mean, that is
the
amazing.
same.
That really is amazing. I love
And
the way that's done.
that eye is not exactly the easiest thing to paint. And I suspect it would have been, I can't remember what they're called, but the dropper things that like stamp things on.
Look how good
there's nothing that's out of place on that.
Look how good the weathering is just on the metal parts, the metallic parts. Like, I know it's some sort of dry brush, but it's very neat. I mean, it's almost like an edge highlight. Like, it's
very much so. This
And-
looks like a giant miniature.
Yeah.
You're absolutely spot on.
It's like one of the heavy metal, the actual display pieces like you'd see in White Dwarf magazine or on the back of the boxes of these things.
Look at the chainmail.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Freaking hell.
And there's nothing that's slipped out onto the red at all. It's all exactly where it should be.
So again, this is where you got to give JoyToy the credit in terms of the you pay for what you get, because something mass produced like that. Now, if these guys can paint and mass produce the figures of that detail at that price point, there's absolutely no freaking excuses for all the other big companies, toy companies out there.
You know, they've been able to do that for a while. Like, I remember one of the first lines in the 4-inch scale. I remember being like blown away by the paint jobs. Do you remember Acid Rain?
Yes,
seeing
I do
that all
that.
those years ago, and like, you know, seeing like the sort of levels of articulation and just the paint jobs, because not a lot of figures had tried weathering and done it as effectively as that started to look like. And it just seems to roll from there. You see a lot of those boutique, you know, little toy lines that I don't know, that seem to pop up. They're always like these kind of anime worlds, and some of the paint jobs are incredible for a sort of, I mean, not mass mainline. We're not talking like Hasbro levels of numbers being churned out, but obviously significant enough.
Yeah. I'm just going to show people the plasma gun over here. See whether or not that will.
My guy's having an arm wrestle.
There we go. Look at that.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
It's done really well.
That's crazy, right?
So this is what I was hinting at earlier, because like, there's been a large number of this stuff that's gone out in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And most companies, when they push out that volume, start to slip. If something is selling really well, they don't need to put as much effort in quite sometimes. And look, that's business, right?
Yeah.
But this new stuff is no less detailed and no less impressive than the stuff we were looking at last year or the year before. I only have one regret, and that's that I didn't discover the line until after they stopped producing the Death Company, because I really wish I had have gotten that Death Company.
What are your thoughts on that, Simon?
I'm glad I got that Death Company. Which
Simon, you should be distracted for a little bit while I come and wander through your house.
What Jason, what line what subsets, what factions are you collecting in the JoyToy line?
I've got this stuff. I'm probably going to concentrate on the Blood Angels until the Eldar get here. And I definitely want a Catachan, at least. I don't really know the answer to that question. I'm kind of just grabbing what I think looks cool.
Oh.
I'm not somebody that needs to have everything, because I don't have the money or the space for that. But I grabbed the stuff that looks really... I mean, I grabbed this guy originally because he just looked really cool.
Yeah.
And, like, I've not been disappointed. And I chose this guy for the same reason, because I had the two options, and like, you know what? This is the one that screamed at me the most, because there was just something about the Red Corsair that jumped out at me.
They are one of the better Chaos factions.
Yeah.
Still
They
can't-
literally started a war.
How do you pronounce his name, like Huron? Is it the first name, Luft or...
It's Luft, yeah. And Huron, yeah. And he calls himself Huron Blackheart now.
He's got to get a figure. Like, he was...
He doesn't even have a miniature yet.
I know they had the old one. That's the last one I remember. He was goofy, had his hand out because he's got the flamer in the gauntlet.
He looks awesome. I would love to see them redo that.
Oh, I'm sure, seeing how well, the Primarchs have gone, I'm sure they'll start doing special sort of named characters. Like, probably, I would say that would tie in with, like, if GW have plans to do an updated figure, then I would imagine JoyToy's timeline would not be too far behind that. Like, the Dark Angels, that wasn't released. Those figures weren't released by GW not that long ago. They done a refresh.
I need to get myself a Necron.
Oh, I got to say the Celtic dynasties and what was the other ones? I have actually both factions of this Necrons. They're really good. Actually, I was a bit worried that they were going to not stand well, and they're actually really good. They actually haven't fallen off the shelf. They're still up and standing and doing really well. And like again, so Necrons are.
I don't have any Necrons. I'm trying to restrain. I'm collecting multiple Marines. Like,
shall I get
Imperial
a
Fists, Black Templars.
Yes. See, for me, I want a Necron and 40k people. Well, there's two types of 40k people: those that will love what I'm referencing, and those that will hate me for it. Because I want to get a Necron to fist bump with my Blood Angel, which is a part of the lore.
I hate you.
That, generally speaking, people either love or they hate, because they actually teamed up in a battle at one point.
Or is this about, like,
in the lore makes no sense?
Is this about, like, the Silent King as well? Knew who Sanguinius was when he met
It comes from that, yes. But nobody actually knows whether the Silent King was telling the truth or not. He may have been making that up, and we're not actually sure. Because in theory, he
was between galaxies.
He can't have ever
he?
met them. Yeah. There's no opportunity that we know of where he could have actually met Sanguinius. So if it did happen, and it's not just a lie, there's story there that needs to be picked up at some point.
See,
have a good night,
we're losing
Con.
so
Thank
many
you for coming
people at
along.
this point.
Good night, Con. Thanks for joining us.
See, we should have started discussing where the Silent King's been all these years.
Yeah, you're like, oh, come on. So here's
I
a
don't
Necron.
think we have a Silent King miniature, do we? I mean, a Silent King toy yet? No.
But they'll do one.
That's
for sure.
So cool.
Yeah. I got to say, these Necrons are done so well.
Put it away. I don't want to look. I don't need the temptation.
Look at that close up.
Look into those dead, cold eyes.
I did need more bad guys. Well, enemies of the Imperium anyway. All I've got is the Black Legion guys, the Terminators.
Look at that.
And the Orcs.
The Black Legion are cool. I actually do like the Orcs as well. The Orc figures look nice.
They were really nice, actually. They've done a great job.
Just with scale, put them together.
I just have one at hand. Yeah. Actually, I'll do a quick size comparison here.
Yes.
So you can see how much bigger an orc is than the average human. So,
that is huge.
Foot to foot. You can see they're much. It's literally fighting a gorilla.
Yep.
Fighting a gorilla. So, there you go, man. You have all these guys. Look at that.
Yeah, the future looks so bright for the light. Like, every faction's getting some love.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you not?
If you want to look into the 40k universe and you want to find that part of the universe where you want to be living, this is not the universe for that. There is no bright points. Everything is bad in the 40k universe, and that is kind of the point. There are no good guys. Everybody is a bad guy. It's all shades of grey. Like the Imperium, in theory, are the heroes. They are not the good guys.
Well,
No.
Not even
no.
vaguely.
I suggest that they are the sort of acts that are required to survive in these times. That you
That
can't
is
even,
true.
like you're dealing with humanity on an extinction level every day, and they're losing, and they're gonna lose eventually.
It's just but this is the story of the end of the universe, and
Yeah.
it's just like we're constantly 3 minutes to midnight.
And what's sadder is what it could have been, like if it hadn't been for the Horus Heresy and everything that went down.
The Horus Heresy isn't even the start of the problem. The
It's
Emperor
Erebus. Erebus.
The Emperor is a genocidal maniac.
Hey, he oh man, I don't. We do not have time for this.
No.
This is this is where like there is a lot of background here. We're not even scratching the surface. These are tiny little nicks. There is so much more here than what we're talking about.
Well, and that's why we want people to get enthused. They should get into it. This is a great gateway drug. This is a perfect gateway drug for people to get into 40k and the lore.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
There's
I mean,
a ton of lore on YouTube. There is a lot of really good books out there. I would recommend the Horus Heresy. It's probably the highlight.
At least the first 3. You can really skip a lot of the rest. They're not essential reading, but the first 3, I would say, you have to sort of read.
We're actually on the verge of that story being finished.
Oh, I know. I'm looking forward to that. I've got everything from the Siege of Terror so far.
Is Sanguinius dead yet?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I shouldn't be spoiling because that book's still pretty new. So, no, he's still alive, kids.
You're not spoiling anything. This has been news for about 30 years at this point.
Well, it might be news to people
years.
who are just with us now, who are going like, who
That
are
is
these
true.
Warhammer guys? They might start reading and go, boy, this Sanguinius is a great guy. I hope everything ends up okay for him.
There you go. That's an orc just for scale reference.
What a great group shot. I love it.
That is a great shot, yeah.
I mean, what can I say? It's probably one of the best toy lines in the last 2 years post-COVID, I think. And I really...
The fact...
yeah. Go on.
No, you're right. You finish what you're saying.
No. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the fact that they've expanded out to do the Infinity range as well now, which is a very different sci-fi universe, says a lot for how popular this clearly has been.
Yeah,
I think. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say. I think so many 40k fans have been waiting for something like this. Yeah. And it's like you can't just grab one. Like even if you start out like I'll just get a Space Marine from my favorite chapter. It's just how it starts, man. It's the nature of it.
Because then you have to have that favorite character that... I mean, I know I've got the Marine, but now I need to have the chapter master or the favorite character from it. And, well, they need to fight somebody, so...
Exactly. That's how it happens. It's like with any line, you just got to get that right. But I think 40k players are conditioned to spending huge amounts of money on plastic as it is. So, this is... At least they didn't have to paint these ones themselves.
That is true. I mean, in theory, you could play a game with these. You'd probably need to.
You could do a kill team. I've seen
stuff.
kill team like improvised and played with JoyToy figures. Well, on YouTube, not live. I don't go to those sort of events.
Jason Murray, you always need a bad guy for the good guys to take down, but there are no good guys. They're all bad guys.
Well, you just need someone who's worse.
Yes, and that is true.
That's it.
Oh, I love these guys. Look at that.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, cool. So for those of you guys that want these figures, and I highly recommend them, I'm the enabler of all things plastic. Please go to Cool Toys Club or JoyToy World.
Yes, you can find them on both.
Absolutely. I will be looking at doing a big order. I've got a few to catch up on.
There was a comment. Sorry, did I miss that? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. Sorry, about a guy for the less bad guys to be taken. Well, you were one step ahead of me. I was trying to pull up the banner just to show people where they can go and get their toys from. So, quick one, and we'll be right back.
This episode of Toy Reel is proudly brought to you by Cool Toys Club and JoyToy World.
Okay, so I think we've done pretty well tonight. We've looked at these are new releases. They're pseudo new releases. They came out, I would say, just over a couple of months ago. And then obviously, if you go on the website, you'll see more offerings and announcements. The Cadians are something I definitely am going to get. Are you going to get those, Simon?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
you got
Yes, I am. And I'm actually going to do a little bit of army building there.
And I think we may pass a couple down to Mr. Jason Grubb over there and get him to look at a few things as well.
I definitely need more. I'm trying to behave.
Thanks for this, lads. Very educational, says Mikey Siciliano. By the way, he took that whole thing off. He's going to grow it.
I saw that picture, man. That scared the hell out of me. He's like a different man.
Different person.
I seriously thought about it for one point, but no, mine stays. Somebody made the mistake of suggesting that I should remove it, and therefore it's not going anywhere.
Mikey is that moustache, though. I've never seen him without it before. I've always known him as that guy with the sleazy, dirty-looking moustache, and now he's not.
Well, it's not the moustache that's sleazy and dirty. It's the other way around.
I hope that is the case. I really do.
It's a dirty Sanchez.
Oh, it's the dirtiest of Sanchez's.
Did Mikey lose the Mo for Movember? Is it the reverse Mo?
Have you ever pulled a reverse Mo before, Clinton?
That sounds terrible.
Feels terrible too.
That sounds terrible. No, I haven't. No. All right. Well, cool. Thanks. On that note, hey guys, thank you so much. It was good to be back. We've got to do more of these.
I've got some terrible toys to talk about that I got. Not these ones. These are fantastic.
Yeah,
I definitely have more stuff from JoyToy World that I need to show off.
I'm going to shit all over X-Transbots and James Bond or Bond James.
They're all down there.
Are those the Beast Cubes?
The Beast Boxes, yeah. I still have more.
Boxes? Yeah, Beast Boxes, yeah. Okay, so stay tuned. I mean, you can see Jason's definitely thrown a couple of reviews up on our channel, and that's pretty damn good. But we can also get them. We can get those Beast Boxes from JoyToy World, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. And don't forget, use your discount Toy Reel code.
Use the discount.
Save
money. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, no,
we don't get anything. We don't get anything from this, but just support the people that support us. It definitely helps. Everything helps.
Correct. Okay. On that note, thanks everyone for joining us. Really good to be back. Really good. I love these live streams, particularly midweek. We are long overdue. We're definitely long overdue for a roundtable, actually. Speaking of which, we won't do a roundtable for a while because the studio is currently out of it's decommissioned for a while because we're getting a new air conditioning unit put in. So just so you know, like, because every time it's like a little sweat box when we do our roundtables. Do you notice in the studio?
Yeah,
so I can't say I've ever noticed.
Yeah, well, you're all the way in Melbourne, so
yeah, I've never been there.
Jamie, hi guys, it's been a while. Sorry, I'm late, and I like the Warhammer figurines you have. Hope you have a good one. Well, we hope you have a good one too, Jamie. So thank you very much.
We highly recommend them.
We highly recommend
gorgeous.
Them. I'm gonna finish on that shot over here, the group shot.
Cool.
And gents, thank you very much for your time. And I always say thank you very much for your time and enthusiasm. Can't beat that.
All good, man.
Thanks for giving us a reason to be enthusiastic.
I love it. Can you smell it? Can you smell the plastic? Smell it. Smell the plastic.
Actually, these
Still has
ones
that
don't have
gearbox
much of a smell.
No, they don't actually. Hey, compared to a lot of other toys that you pull
Yeah,
out.
like there's none of that weird like the smell you notice sometimes when you open a box. Like I don't know. It must have been a bad day on the factory line that day.
You think of all the chemicals. You know, think of all the carbon footprint that they're leaving, you know, on this planet with all the plastics and all the chemicals they use.
Are you trying to make me feel bad because I'm hoarding quite a bit of it here?
No, you're hoarding it and therefore keeping it out of the environment.
That's right. I'm keeping it out of the chain.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Actually, I better retract that because I don't want to be cancelled and labeled as woke.
I'm just saying. I mean, if that's the case, then quite frankly, I'm an ecological hero.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, Rob. You are always you're a frequent what do you call it, attendee or a viewer or supporter. So we appreciate it. I know you're very into your toys and quite eclectic taste. So always nice to have you join us. Hope that was quite insightful for all of you guys. So get into 40k. Like I said, JoyToy World, JoyToy Figures, Gateway Drug. All
It's
figures
a very
are out of
interesting universe to explore, regardless of whether you want to play the game or not.
Exactly.
There you go. All figures are out of the environment as they are kept in hermetically sealed cases. Real air will never touch them again. True. To finish off the night, best your favorite faction, Simon.
Space Marines.
Oh, what about? Okay.
Which
go.
one?
But I mean, personally, in this scale, the Black Templars.
Yep.
In the actual 40k Imperial Fist.
Imperial Fists. Okay. Nice. What about you, Jason?
Blood Angels. I'm a Blood Angels boy through and through. I love the beauty. I love the violence behind it. I love the cursed nature of them. It's just... what's not to love about vampires in space?
Fair enough. Cool. All right.
Thankfully, neither of you look like Horus right now, so I'm okay.
Oh, dear. Okay. On that note, make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Stay tuned. We always have more coming. Like I said, we'll take a slight hiatus on the roundtables at the moment because there's a lot of work going into that room in the studio, but we will make sure that we keep up with our midweek musings. Thank you so much to my colleagues, Simon Flack and Jason the Bruce. And thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay passionate and enthused about toy collecting in the community. And we'll make sure that we always bring these to you on a wonderful Thursday night. So goodbye. Goodbye.
See you, Horace.
Yeah, everyone.
People.
For the Emperor.
For the Emperor. For the Emperor.